This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6, and reads through the Holy Scriptures. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakar Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone for preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Aki. Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson getting into the of this news article. This is published by Yahav Harkov, if I pronounce his name right. Published May the 5th, 2023. Updated May 5th, 2023 by the Jerusalem Post, and it reads, Israel has freedom to act against Iran's nuclear threat. The U.S. says. It says, storm and drain over Netanyahu's White House snub is overblown, the U.S. National Security Advisor says. It says Washington allows Israel freedom of action against the Iran nuclear threat. It says the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says, we have made it clear to Iran that it can never permit to obtain a nuclear weapon. Sullivan says that in an address to the Washington Institute think tank on Thursday, the President Joe Biden has repeatedly affirmed he will take the necessary action necessary to stand by his statement, including the recognizing Israel's freedom of action. Continuing on with the reading of the news article, and it says, there is a issue occupies the president's attention, my attention on a daily basis, he said. Iran's program has advanced considerably. It is a general danger to regional security, to global security, and indeed to the United States of America. We are going to continue to take action to, deter Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, and then to seek a diplomatic solution that puts it on its long-term path of stability. And it says the National Security Advisor said the U.S. continues to use diplomatic channels regarding Iran's nuclear program. And continuing on with the reading of the news article, it says the best way to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon is a effective agreement, he stated. I regard the decision to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal, which is the JCPOA, without anything to replace or strategic to deal with, other than the imposition of sanctions. We have continued to add it to actual. It's not necessary a pathway to clear a straightforward deterrence. It says Iran's nuclear program is advancing. Sullivan argues. It says Sullivan argues that without a deal, Iran's nuclear program is advancing. It says that while an agreement will scale it back, it says we will continue to send a clear message about the costs and consequences of going too further, while the same continuing to seek the possibility of diplomatically broken outcome that puts Iran's nuclear program back in the box, he said. Silverman says the U.S. cooperation with the partners of the Middle East to deter Iran, such as holding the largest joint military exercise drills between the United States and Israel this year, and one of the largest naval military exercises in the history of the Middle East, within over 50 countries, including Israel and the Gulf states, working together. There can be no doubt that we are working the walk and not just the talking. The talk when we said that our commitment to Israel security, iron claw, he said. He anticipated in meetings with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, National Advisor Tashi, if I pronounce his name right, Hangi, Defense Minister Yvonne Gallant of deterring Iran. On Thursday, Foreign Minister Deputy Director General for Strategic Affairs Joshua Zerkov and Director General to Euro-Asia Sima Harpin met with Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov primarily to discuss the Iran nuclear threat and the diplomacy related to the current defunct Iran nuclear deal, the Russian foreign minister stated. It says, asked when Netanyahu could expect it to be invited to the White House after Biden publicly spoke out against the government judicial reform plan. Silverman said the president has a very long relationship with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which remained deeply engaged with the Israeli government day by day. So a lot of storm and drag the media, I think, have been very overblown. Salakia. It says when the time is right and we will have a visit to announce. We'll announce then. Until then, I think kind of speculating or regarding trying to set any conditions around what just doesn't comport. By the way, Joe Biden does business and never has done business anywhere, especially with a country he loves like Israel, he said. Silverman spoke with length about Abraham's Accord, the agreement forging the 2020 between Israel and the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain and Morocco. It is various aspects as Americans' efforts to get Saudi Arabia to normalize ties with Israel. It says we are working to strengthen and expanding the Abraham Accord, supporting Israel's ultimate final complete integration into the Middle East region and the world. Silverman says the Biden administration has the interest and bandwidth to promote normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Getting full normalization is a declaring national security interest of the United States. We have been clear out that opening Saudi Arabia airspace to Israeli flights is one step along the road towards what we hope will come a full normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia, which I highly doubt. So let's continue on with that. So as you see, we're definitely going to continue to see the escalations between Iran and Israel, because as of recently, it's been increasing reports that Iran is definitely increasing their nuclear capability, while the United States and Israel try to find continuing paths to deter Iran from their increasing nuclear capability, which is the enrichment of that can create nukes, that can create an atomic bomb, a nuclear bomb as well too. With Iran, because like I mentioned again, you got the Iran versus Israel escalations are increasing now, so more than ever. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying of this recent news article, as it says from the Jerusalem Post, May 5th, 2023, published May 5th, 2023, by Lahav Hargraf, if I pronounce his name right, and it says again, It says Israel has freedom to act against Iran's nuclear threat, right? And that's a prime example of the escalation between Iran versus Israel, a cross-border conflict between the Syrian border and the Israeli border, because you have the pro-Iranian groups going against the Israeli Defense Force, which is the IDF. So those tensions are going to continue to escalate now some more than ever, while you have the increasing growing nuclear capability with Iran versus Israel and the United States as well too, as you have the United States and Israel continue to find ways and find paths to deteriorate Iran's nuclear capability, if it's through a response of military action or its response or continuing increasing economic hard sanctions is a prime example. So I had to add a note to that. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakarkadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.